everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing my recommended reads for young adult series. So I love a good series because it's a nice break from just standalones or trilogies, and it's where you can really get to know these characters and start loving them, and the plot can take a bunch of twists and turns. Nothing is ever really assured, and it just keeps me guessing the whole entire time. I just love a good sustained narrative because Throne of Glass, for example, you think it's going to go one way and then it goes a complete different direction. So you really never know what's going to happen with a series. And sometimes in trilogies, because it's not as long as a series, you kind of know what's going to happen in the end. You have a good idea about it, but series, you just never really know. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 11 favorite series. So first, I'm going to start off with the mother of all YA or children's lit series, and that is Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. Of course, this one had to be at the top of this list. They're not in an order except for this one. This one is just number one. I just absolutely love Harry Potter. If you haven't read it yet, I highly, highly recommend it. I only read it for the first time a couple of years ago, and it's just such a great series because it has something for everyone. Even if you generally don't like fantasy, you will probably love this series because it's not like too intense in the fantasy, but it is at the same time. If you're a fantasy lover, you'll love it. If you're a contemporary lover, I think you'll still love it. It just is one of those series that you can't help but fall in love with. You see these characters grow up as they go through what would be like high school in the normal world, as you see them really mature, and it's really just a coming of age series that you see Harry and Hermione and Ron, all of them develop and all of their friends develop, and you just get to see all of these characters change over the course of the series, and you fall in love with them because you get to just spend so much time with them, and that's what makes this series so beautiful. There's just so many characters, and everything about this series is just so intricate and amazing. The writing is fantastic. I honestly could go on and on. It's Harry Potter. I mean, it's amazing. Just the best series. Yes. I feel like my wrist is literally going to be broken by the time I'm done filming this video because these books are all so heavy and there's so many of them. So the next series is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This series, of course, is really, really well loved on BookTube. There are a lot of people who really don't like it, and I get crap for it all the time, but I think that this series is just fantastic. It isn't all done yet. I believe there's 2 more books that still have to come out, 2 or 3 more books that have to come out. And if I was waiting, some of these series aren't finished yet and I'm not caught up with them yet, but honestly, if I was waiting until I was caught up or all the books were out, this video wouldn't be done until like 2020. It would take forever. That's only 3 years away. That's not that long. Oh my god. It wouldn't be done until like 2050 because there are just so many books that need to come out and these series are so long, so I just decided to film it now anyways. So these books are just fabulous. I love Selena, and she's an assassin, and she's just badass, and it's just an amazing series. The first book, well, kind of the first book, this is the book of prequel novellas, The Assassin's Blade, but it's like a full-sized book, so it's not like just a little novella thing. This is I think 4 or 5 stories. They're really fantastic. Then, of course, the first book is Throne of Glass, which is so good. Then the second one is Crown of Midnight, which is still my favorite so far. Then we have Heir of Fire, which is kind of a bridge book, so there wasn't a lot going on for it, but I still did really enjoy it. And then the last one is Queen of Shadows, which I did really love, but there were some inconsistencies, and some of where the series is going I'm not a huge fan of, but this is the last one that's out so far. So far there are 4 books published in the main series and then the book of novellas, and these books just get better and better as they go, except Queen of Shadows was a little bit meh, but they do get really great, and I think that the next book, Empire of Storms, might be able to redeem some of the issues I had with Queen of Shadows, and I just cannot wait to see where the series is going to go, because if any series keeps me guessing, it is 100% this one. I never know. No one is safe. I swear to God. And by the way, as usual, if I have any reviews for any of these series, I will link them all down below for you. The next series is one that the last book just recently came out, and that is the Raven Cycle Quartet by Maggie Stiefvater. I I just love this series so much. I just think it is so fantastic. They are beautifully written and they follow Blue and the Raven boys. Now, Blue has known her whole entire life. She lives in a family of psychics, so she has known her whole life that she will kill her true love if she kisses him. Then she ends up getting wrapped up in the world of the Raven boys, who are searching for this mysterious Welsh king who is rumored to have been sleeping, and if he wakes, then he will grant a favor to whoever wakes him. So they have been searching for him, and Blue joins them on their quest. She just gets wrapped up in the world of the Raven boys, and it is such an amazing world to get wrapped up in. I absolutely loved the journey that we took through this series, and I think that this series is one of the strongest written series that I've ever read, because each book can stand on its own, but it also works in the greater story arc, and it's really consistent. Everything is super consistent. It keeps you guessing the whole time. You have questions that are arising and you never know what's going to happen, and you're just dying by the time you get to the last book to find out what's going on. So the first book is, of course, the Raven boys. Then we have the Dream Thieves. Then we have Blue Lily Lily Blue, and finally we have the Raven King. So I honestly just cannot recommend this series enough. I think it is just so great, and I'm so sad it's over, but I'm so glad that it happened. The next series on my list is kind of more of a fun one, and that is the Selection series by Kiera. I started reading these books around when I first started BookTube, and these books are really kind of what got me into reading because they were just such a blast to read. So the first ones that I read were the Selection, the Elite, and the One, and these three were supposed to be the only ones in the series. Then they ended up adding the Heir and the Crown. The Crown just came out this 2 weeks ago, and the Heir came out last year around this time, and honestly, these three are my favorite. I think that these ones were 5 stars. They're absolutely fabulous. They're basically, it's The Bachelor, but The Bachelor is a prince. It's fabulous. I love reading about royalty, and Prince Maxon is just like my favorite. I just love him so much. And then we have these two that I can't really give you a synopsis for because it's spoilery, as are all the titles for the series, but that's besides the point. But these ones weren't quite as good. The Heir, I had lots of problems with. The Crown, a lot of those problems were fixed. I'm gonna drop this. A lot of those problems that I had were fixed in The Crown, but it still wasn't quite as good as the first 3. But overall, this series is tons of fun and really enjoyable, and it's just a really great, relaxing, quick read. The next series on my list is the Finishing School series by Gail Carriger. I've actually only read the first 2 books so far. I believe there's 4 in total. I'm not sure the order you're supposed to read them in regards to her adult series and everything. I've heard that sometimes like it'll spoil you for something that'll happen in this book. Reading it before the other series will spoil you for something that's going to happen in that series, but I just picked up this one because I wanted to, and I feel like it's just a small spoiler anyways, so whatever. But anyways, these are like this badass steampunk series that the girls are going to a finishing school, but it's not a regular finishing school because they're being taught not only how to be proper Victorian ladies, but they're also being taught how to, like, the art of espionage and basically just how to be spies and badasses. It's honestly such a fun series. It kind of keeps you guessing, and the writing is fantastic. It's so funny, and I just found that these 2 books were a blast to read, and I'm excited to continue with the rest of the series. And of course I couldn't talk about YA, or really just middle grade is included as well, series and not mention the Percy Jackson series by Riordan. I don't know if I say that wrong. I probably do. It's like how I say Rainbow Rowell. I think I say Rowell, and people always tell me how I'm wrong and they laugh at me in the comments. I guess it's Rowell, but I just can't say that name, and I can't say Rick Riordan either. But anyways, this series is so fun. You have sassy, sarcastic Percy, you get to learn about a bunch of mythology, and it's just a great time. The movies discredit this series. These books are so much better than the movies. And speaking of Rick Riordan, we also have the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. This has 5 books, and Percy Jackson has 5 books as well. And this follows, the first one follows more of Greek mythology, and this one follows more of Roman and Greek mythology. And it just combines the two, and it's amazing. You get some of the characters from Percy in this one, and it's just honestly so fun. This one is a little bit more on the young adult side because they are a little bit older, but it's so great. And I like how Rick Riordan deals with some important issues in these books, and like little kids are reading them, and I think it's really great to expose them to those issues early on. So I just love this series all around. There's no way I'm gonna pick these books up because they are on the bottom shelf of my bookshelf and they are so heavy. But my next series, I know you guys are all waiting for it, but it's the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Honestly, it's not my favorite series. I do have a couple of issues with the later books, but it's a really solid series to kind of get you into fantasy and get you into longer series. It's tons of fun. You have lots of really lovable characters, and it's just a really enjoyable time. And the final series I have to recommend to you guys today is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I've only read the first 2 books, but they were tons of fun. It's basically, it's a sci-fi retelling, first of Cinderella, then of Little Red Riding Hood, and then I'm missing the 3rd one, but that one's Cress, and that one retells Rapunzel, and then the last one, Winter, this one retells Snow White. So it's just tons of fun, really out there and really cool, and I really enjoyed the first 2 books. I just need to read the rest, and this one is kind of a novella that goes more into the villain's past, which sounds awesome, but I've heard you're supposed to read it like in between Cress and Winter, so I haven't picked it up yet because I haven't read Cress yet, but I will eventually obtain Cress and then finish the series because it is just so enjoyable. So those are all of my recommended reads for longer series. I honestly feel like I was just lifting weights, like my arms hurt so badly from picking up all those books. I'm just like such a weakling and I can't do it. I feel just frail and faint. But I did it, I got through it, that was my workout for the year. I'm good, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have read any of these series, your thoughts on them, or some of your favorite series that I didn't mention in this video. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!